Here down under in Australia and New Zealand, it's been an interesting few days, to say the least, Joe, for hockey fans with the ESPN deal and the NHL.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a kerfuffle, you might say. Bit of a shittercane, to quote Trailer Park Boys. Not a good day to be working at the ESPN New Zealand and Australia office, I'd say.
No, when they basically, if you're not aware, they put out their announcement, hockey fans across Australia and New Zealand will have access to every regular season and postseason NHL game as part of their huge 2021-2022 broadcast offering. Of course, this stems from the new deal in North America between ESPN and NHL. They are now the primary broadcaster, what used to be NBC. Of course, that's no longer. And it's kind of taken a lot of people by surprise because it has now swept NHL TV away from us, which has been a service that many of us have used for many, many years. Some I've seen in complaints that have been a customer for a decade. I think I might be one of them, to be honest. I think I remember using it all the way back in 2011 as well.
Yeah, I think I'd be the same. Just I only had it on a phone. I didn't even have it on an app or anything like an Apple TV. It was just on a phone that I'd watch games on my phone, on an iPhone 5.
Try an iPhone 3GS.
Oh, shit.
I know. And the internet connection was so bad that I wasn't streaming the games, like the video. I was only listening to the radio.
Right.
But it's really taken the hockey world by storm down here. We did a video kind of explaining the situation and where New Zealand fans can find games, what they can do. You can find that on our Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Glad to see that it seems to have helped a few people. Of course, we've now had a couple of days with it. We're in preseason. We're not getting every game. But Joe, can you sort of explain what your experience has been like so far using the ESPN app?
Yeah, well, the ESPN app on Apple TV doesn't work. So they've thrown us back into a casting to TV situation. So I had to dig out an old iPhone that I had stashed away in a cupboard somewhere, and that's basically just now my remote that I use to cast games to the TV on. It's quite weird. It's like we've gone back 6 years. It seems fine. I mean, it doesn't have the functionality of the app NHL TV system. You can't pause live games, which is annoying. The ads, I think you said it was like 3 seconds of a sound effect looped over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
The NHL Game Center ones with that animation was bad enough, but this is even worse.
At least, though, the NHL TV ones were just silent and they kind of rolled, and there was a few of them, and you even got a few, like little commercials every now and then, like NHL specific ones. This is just a 3-second loop, and you hear like this crowd sound effect, and it just loops again and again until it comes out of commercial break. And by the first few loops, I was already muting it. So, I mean, that is definitely going to be annoying if that's something that continues. But as you mentioned, not having that kind of playback functionality as well. Hopefully that does kind of start slipping in, and they introduce new features as the season goes on. But so far, it definitely hasn't been a smooth transition from NHL TV to ESPN.
No, I mean, the quality's fine. Takes a little bit to get up to 1080. I guess depending on your connection, but I mean, it just seems like a weird step backwards. But that's the NHL for you.
It is. And I mean, if you look at that announcement from ESPN, especially on their Twitter, obviously hockey Twitter is great. Hockey Twitter is where everyone comes together. There's some incredible replies. Do you have it up with you at the moment, and are you able to sort of point out any favorites?
I do. Mostly it's just I quote one, just fuck you ESPN is quite a is quite a good one.
You really want that to be the title of this podcast, don't you?
Kind of makes sense. But just a lot of confusion about people just asking about the app, like how come this app doesn't work? And God bless the people from ESPN Australia that, I mean, it's one of those rules of social community management where you've kind of got to go in and address the situation when it's happening. But this is one that you kind of might have just let go through to the keeper, because a couple of the guys were coming on and answering the same question over and over and over again, and then just getting hugely abused. Just a lot of disappointed hockey fans. And I think there was a good tweet where someone said, I didn't know there was this many hockey fans in New Zealand and Australia. This is nice to know.
That's great. I love to hear that. And I mean, you mentioned obviously the couple of really dedicated ESPN Australia employees there. I think one thing that people kind of forget often with these kind of situations, there is a person behind the account, and with this kind of thing, it might be hard to sort of differentiate it and separate it. But a decision like this isn't specifically made by ESPN Australia and New Zealand themselves. This is something that is handed down from their American big brothers, and they basically have to deal with it. This has just all come as part of that deal. So the hate, I don't know, the hate that go to Disney, it's just, I think we just need to sort of temper expectations a little bit. It is a bit of a shit show at the moment. I am not denying that. I've seen a few people say it's a massive step backwards. I even said myself that this was basically just, it's a shame and it's a shambles of just how backwards this is compared to what we are so used to by now. I think hockey fans, we actually had it really good with NHL TV. You know, people elsewhere in the world that use it, especially in USA and Canada, would complain that they get blacked out from games and stuff because they may not have a certain cable provider. And now we're maybe kind of getting the same kind of situation as well. But at least it does work. And I mean, at the end of the day, right, it's trying to find a relative that's got a Sky Go login.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's the talk about how your Sky Sport Now login doesn't work, so you've got to have the Sky Go login. But when you fire up the app and start to watch a video, you get hit by a Sky Sport Now ad, which is
irony.
Quite ironic. But yeah, find a relative that's got a Sky Go login, send them some money a month that you would be normally spending on your NHL TV subscription, and just try and use it that way. But you can watch college hockey, which is quite good, which is something we never had before.
I know that was something that I sort of stumbled on. Every now and then you might get the Frozen Four, annually on ESPN, like on the broadcast channels, but that's about it. So this is an awesome little bonus edition there that we get NCAA men's and women's hockey. Would have been great if this kind of deal happened when Grace Harrison was playing for St. Lawrence Saints, and those games were getting picked up by ESPN Plus in her last year with the school there. But awesome bonus if you're that deep into your hockey that you love to watch NCAA. Well, now you've got that option. So hopefully things will come right. We'll get more games. I mean, obviously preseason can be a bit of a I'm trying to think what, shooting fish in a barrel kind of thing. You don't get every game usually, but hopefully we will. Like they say, we get every regular season game and every postseason game. And we're going to get all the NHL studio broadcasting as well, the programs. Hopefully that all comes to fruition and we'll all be happy.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, or the ESPN Australia, New Zealand Twitter account will get absolutely flamed.